Today's tutorial is about getting as much detail as possible when you are tracing. There's a lot of solid black areas in here. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time on there. More or less, focus your energy on the details that are easily forgotten, such as these really, really small lines that are showing value in this little butterfly. I'm, of course, going to outline every detail very carefully. The nice thing about being able to trace is that it's going to get information on the page quickly. You need to take advantage of the opportunity by taking your time to get as much detail as possible. There's a very, very faint line right here you could probably barely see. I want you to pay attention to little bitty details like that because that's going to help make it as realistic as it can be. Now, when I'm tracing, I tend not to do any kind of shading whatsoever. You'll be able to do that later on, and our media of choice is going to be ink pens. Those pens are going to be used in the stipple mark-making techniques so that you can learn to show value and make something look realistic with that mark-making technique. So the idea here is to take your time and be able to get as much detail as possible. Now I'm going to move on to a little bit more complicated section, and I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see just how much detail you want to get. Well, if you look at these little leaves over here, because this insect is sitting on that leaf, you do actually need to draw it. Do I need to draw everything in the background? Not necessarily, but I always choose to do so. For this particular project, you are going to be focusing on your insect itself and whatever object it is on. So if it's sitting on a branch or a leaf or whatever, you do need to draw all of that. So when I'm looking at this leaf, I'm going to see details that maybe you would not see. In my leaf, it has even some stipple is already kind of what I see. Instead of lines, I already see just kind of dots. And I have little areas where we have a change of value. What happens is if you don't outline or make some kind of mark for all of those details, you will completely forget about it. So when you are getting ready to trace, most of you are going to go straight for the main outlines. My objective is for you to begin to see all of those details. So any little change in value or change in color, I outline it, as opposed to just the main outline of the creature, in this case, an insect. Anytime I see that particular detail, which is a leaf, change in color, I outline it. And what that's going to do is when I'm ready to do my stipple with my pens, I've already marked out exactly where I'm going to be showing different changes of value or using mark making. So those are the kinds of things I want you to focus on for today.